English 1302 class. This is your library instructor again. And again, I want to show you, today I'm going to show you how to find out if your Consilient Thinker has made any impact or influenced other fields. So that's the search we're going to do today. And again, I want to start at the Lee College homepage. Hopefully by now you would have saved the internet address for the LibGuide that I created, so you can automatically just go there. But if you haven't, I'm going to start again from the Lee College homepage. So here's the Lee College homepage, www.lee.edu. Hover over College Operations, scroll down to Library. This session should be shorter than the last one that we did, since I already told you the basics of how to do a database search, how to use the AND operator, and truncation and all that stuff. So what we're going to do is go to LibGuides, click on the LibGuides tab, click on the down arrow button, and I'm going to go to, again, your class, I'll go to English 1302, Miller. That's your class. Click on Go. Alright, so now I'm going to do a basic search that I think it should work for all of your Consilient Thinkers. So basically all I'm doing is I'm going to go over here to Academic Search Complete, click on that, and then what I'm going to do is do a basic search like this. I'm just going to type for Steve Jobs. He's going to be our subject for today, our Consilient Thinker. Steve Jobs. And I'm just going to type all these disciplines, and I suggest you do the same, or come up with disciplines that you think that your Consilient Thinker may have influenced, other than the obvious ones. So the obvious ones for Steve Jobs would be business. So because that's an obvious one, I'm going to try to add some others in there. So I'm going to add psychology, or sociology, or humanities, and you might want to be copying these down as we go along so you can use these for your Consilient Thinker. Philosophy. Alright, let's just try those four to start with. Okay, so those are four disciplines that I'm just inferring might Steve Jobs may have had an influence on. So I'm just going to do a search. I was doing this search for many hours, and this seemed to be the best one. So I suggest that you use the same thing. Again, I'm using Academic Search Complete. If you can't find enough articles for your Consilient Thinker and Academic Search Complete, then you can do one of two things. You can come up here on Choose Databases. You can click this, and you can come in and you can select all the other EBSCO databases. So you can see that there's a whole bunch of other databases you can search from. So you can click on Select All and search all those, or which we're not going to do this time. Or you could actually go back to the one search at the beginning of the Lee College homepage and do a search in one search, because that searches most of our databases, most of the library databases. So here's a search. We have 95 results. Now what I really suggest with this is to make sure when you do a search with all these synonyms here, do not just look at the first page, okay? Because you're going to have a whole lot of relevant articles. Maybe you might have to scroll down to maybe 35 or 45 articles. So make sure that you don't just scroll through 10, because you'll miss a whole lot, especially if you use these OR operators. Okay, so you want to be more patient and dig through all the results, or as many as you can. First one's a Spanish article, probably not that interesting. Well, it might be if you know Spanish. Here's one on Think Different. This might be relevant. It says, an excerpt is presented from the book Steve Jobs by Walter Isaacson, which offers a biography of Steve Jobs, co-founder of Consumer Electronics Corporation Apple. But what's interesting is this is in the magazine called Humanities. So with that being the case, I would make the assumption that this might have to do with something about the humanities. So I would come up here and click on the folder and save it into your folder, so at the end you can print it out or email it to yourself. But I'm just going to click on Think Different just to read the abstract to see if it might be relevant. So you click on that, click on the down arrow button until you get to the abstract. Okay, it doesn't really tell you much more, so you'd have to go to the full text to see if that's exactly one that you'd be interested in. But for now, since I'm doing a quick and dirty search, I think I would select that one, just because it was in the book Humanities. Okay, another one that might be relevant and how he may have influenced other jobs is the ultimate icon. How Steve Jobs, it says the author conveys his thoughts about his relationship with American entrepreneur, marketer, and inventor Steve Jobs as his biography, and how Jobs connected the humanities to technology. So that'd be another one. Okay, how he used, that's again, that might be more one of how he was a consilient thinker, but it also might talk about the opposite. So I'm going to keep scrolling down. Again, you want to go through these to make sure you read them carefully. Oh, here's one. Interdisciplinarity inside Manchester's Arts Lab. Now that doesn't sound very relevant, does it? But then you have to look at the description. It says the author reflects on the benefits that meshing technology and the humanities can bring. He talks about entrepreneur Steve Jobs' study of calligraphy in college and how it enabled him to promote. So that might be another one that you might want to save. So I'm going to click on Save that one. Click on that folder. I'm going to keep going down. Computer is modern art. That might be another one. It says the article looks at the impact Steve Jobs, co-founder of technology company Apple, had on design. Topics discussed include the way Jobs combined functionality and form, and his Apple minimalist style. So that'd be another one. Okay, and here's another one here. Opting out of over-optimism. Okay, now this looks more at the negative aspect of Steve Jobs, but it does talk about how optimism can have some benefits and some negative consequences. So again, that might be another one you might want to select. Okay. Another one might be failure psychology. He was Steve Jobs was big at encouraging people to do their best, but to learn from their failures and not try to punish people when they fail. And so failure psychology, he may have influenced that. Here's another one on reinventing the inventor. The article presents the author's perspective on inventors. The role of inventors as people who perfect a final product rather than those who create something from their own inspirational ideas. Okay, so that might be another one. And this is interesting about grief, but I wouldn't necessarily link those together. Okay. Oh, now this is very interesting. I would have never connected Steve Jobs and medicine. But what it talks about is it's taking Steve Jobs' overall design philosophy of making things simple in design and applying that to medicine. So if they make medicine simple, then maybe it'll be easier for people to understand the medicine that they're taking, which I would have never thought that he would have an influence on that. Unfortunately, this one is not available in full text. You would have to do an interlibrary loan for that. But if you've started your research early enough, you still have time to get your interlibrary loan, especially since it's an article. Okay? So you can see that we've accumulated quite a few articles this way. Here's another one. What makes a charismatic speaker? A computer-based acoustic prosodic analysis of Steve Jobs' tone of voice. So this is an example of the impact that he had on rhetoric or speech. So as you see, as you go along, you can see that there's other things, other disciplines that he's impacted that we may not have searched about. So what I suggest is to scroll all the way back up and add those disciplines. Get rid of the original ones since you already searched those. So I'm going to get rid of all those, and I'm going to add the new ones. So I'm going to do speech or education or music, because he did invent iTunes, or film. So I'm going to do all those other disciplines that he may have had an impact on. And click on the search button. All right, wow, that's a lot. Well, it's still coming, but it's about 709 articles. And you can see it's still searching, so we're going to wait here. There we go, 709 articles. Ooh, this is interesting. It talks about Steve Jobs and Apple Company's narcissistic personality disorder. And so you might want to look at that. So we might want to add that to our list. Okay. The 99-cent solution. Now what would that be? That has to do with iTunes. And maybe how the impact that iTunes has made on the music industry. So you'd want to click on that. Again, here's that speech article that we did before. Okay. Here's something about Pedagogy Corner. The article present advice and suggestions for making a winning recording. Okay, and somehow it talks about Steve Jobs within that. That doesn't look as useful. Okay, but you want to, again, go through as many of these initial, I'd say up to at least 40 different articles to find articles that you think might be interesting. Here's another one, Irresistible, the business of technology is the business of addiction. The article discusses how businessman Steve Jobs at an Apple event in January 2010 unveiled the iPad, which is best browsing experience and better than laptop, and mentions how he explained why iPad is so addicting. Okay, that might be another one. Okay. Here's one about educating tomorrow's chemists. I wouldn't think that he had anything to do with chemistry, but you'd have to look and see. Oh no, this is interesting. A Bug's Life, good for an investor's life. What does he have to? What does Stephen Jobs have to do with the movie A Bug's Life? I wouldn't have any idea. But then I look at the subjects, and it says that he's actually related to Pixar. I came in and I was doing searches before, and he said, oh, he owned Pixar. So I couldn't believe that Steve Jobs was actually the founder of that animation studio called Pixar. So that would be another example of how he's impacted another field, and especially the film of animation. For some reason, I thought it was George Lucas. So that'd be another one to save. So you can see that we've gained quite a few. Okay, now what you always want to do is click on the folder. So you click on folder, and there's 12 articles that would be relevant, or we can try to infer the influence he's had on other fields. So I click on select all, and then I want to email it to myself. Okay, so I click on email. And then what I want to do is I want it to either give me the PDF or the HTML full text article, and I also want it in MLA format. So I do that, I click my email address, and it'll send it to me. Perfect. Okay, so that's the search strategy that I suggest you use for your Consilient Thinker. All right, and the influence that they may have had on other fields. Okay, again, if you need to get a hold of me, my name is Paul Arrigo. You can contact me at P Arrigo, and I'll type it right here, lee.edu. So you can contact me that way, or you can call me at 281. This is my cell phone number. Not my cell phone number, this is my work number. 281 425 425 6447. Alright, so 281-425-6447. So you can get a hold of me either by phone call or by email. Or again, you can always come to the Lee College homepage, the library homepage, and click on where it says we're open for questions. That's usually our chat feature. So when the library is open, you can click on chat with us, which is what this button is. When the library is closed, it says offline, and what that does is it sends us an email. All right? So if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me that way. Thanks, class. Good luck in your project. Take care.